And here we are for the second game of the doubleheader. Same two teams, South Carolina Gamecocks Club baseball team and the Appalachian State Mountaineers Club baseball team. And leading it off, the same man that we saw leading things off not only for the Mountaineers in the first inning last game, but also the third and the fifth. It's the third baseman, Matt Alexander. Alexander will take ball one outside from the new Gamecock hurler. It's another left-hander, this time number 87, Ryan Forbes, the sophomore. Alexander will foul this one off right in front of the plate. It'll bounce away into the hands of the new catcher for the Gamecocks. That's number 32, Charlie Lucas. Taking around the infield, the third baseman, number 22, Matthew Manning. Same two guys in the middle of the infield. It's the shortstop, Tyron Turner. The second baseman, Jake Hockett. New first baseman is Jack Thiel, moving over from third base in the opener, as Alexander just fouls this one off in the grass behind home plate, first base side. Back in the outfield, left fielder is going to be number 50, William Hitt. The same center fielder is number 10, Adam Parker. And carrying over also from the first game, the right fielder, John Parnell. So now Forbes, the 1-2 count on Alexander. In the first game today, Matt Alexander, 1 for 4. And he strikes out here. Gets rung up by the umpire on the 1-2 pitch. So one early out for the Gamecock pitcher, Ryan Forbes. We'll bring up the center fielder, Dalton Oler. Oler was 2 for 3 in the contest. 2 for 4 earlier today in the opener of this doubleheader. Now here to face Forbes. Forbes' first pitch, just low and outside. Forbes just the second Gamecock pitcher we've seen today, as the other left-hander, number 11, Josh Kay, went the entire 7 in the first game of this double. Oler will foul that one back, 1-1 count. After Oler in the order, it'll be John Rogers. Oler fouls this one back as well. After John Rogers, it'll be the first baseman, Aaron Gerlach. The designated hitter, Jamie Sheik. Second baseman, Grayson Tappy. The shortstop, William Gore. The catcher, Matt Gord. And finally, the right fielder. Just checking my roster here. Nate Garrison, the right fielder. Meanwhile, Oler fouls off another pitch. Forbes has Oler against the ropes. Another foul ball off the bat of Dalton Oler. So another try at the 1-2 to Oler. This one right in front of the plate. Umpire will call it foul again. So Oler will return to the plate yet again. Make another attempt here at what I believe to be a 1-2 count. Sign from the umpire. Let's see. This time Forbes says it just outside. It'll bounce in the dirt. No one on base, so it doesn't matter that it got away from the catcher, Charlie Lucas. Oler steps back into the box. Already a marathon at bat, and we're only 2 batters into this one. Finally, one in fair play. It'll bounce to the shortstop, Turner. Turner drops the ball, however, and Oler will be on safely Just a little dribbler to the shortstop, but Turner could not get a clear handle on it, and it'll put on the first base runner of the day in the form of the Mountaineer center fielder, Dalton Oler. Now we have John Rogers. John Rogers was in right field in the first game of the doubleheader. He'll shift over to left, but still hitting out of this 3-hole. First pitch to Rogers from Forbes. Check swing. Did not go around. That'll be called ball number 1. Check at first base. Oler slides back safely. Now Forbes' pitch. Just a little too far inside for the umpire's liking. It'll be a 2-0 count. Runner at first base is the center fielder, Dalton Oler. In the box with the 2-0 count, left fielder John Rogers, and Matt Alexander, leadoff hitter, and the third baseman for the Mountaineers, already having struck out in this inning. Rogers strikes one to right field. It'll bounce in front of the Gamecock right fielder for a single. John Parnell got to that one as quickly as he could, but it drops in front of him, and now App State in business with runners on first and second, with their cleanup hitter Aaron Gerlach, the first baseman, stepping up to the plate. Earlier in the day, Gerlach with an 0 for 2, struck out and popped out, also was hit by pitch in the contest. First pitch from Forbes to Gerlach, too far outside for ball number 1. The 1-0. Struck high on the infield. Hawk at the second baseman calling for it. He'll put it away for out number 2. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Jamie Sheik. Sheik we did not see earlier today in the contest, but so he will be getting his first at-bats here against the Gamecock left-hander Ryan Forbes. Forbes stepping in against Sheik. Sheik watches that one go by for strike number 1. So now the 0-1 to Sheik, left-handed hitting designated hitter against left-handed Forbes. Knuckles this one over the second baseman. Hockett will throw on to first base. Thiel stretches. He'll put it away for the third out. So App State gets 2 runners on, but nobody across. Still tied at 0-0 as we head to the bottom of the first. Now it's the Gamecocks' turn at the plate, and leading it off once again, the shortstop, Tyron Turner. Turner with a little bit of a miscue in the field back in the top of this one. But no runs come across, no harm, no foul, and he now gets a chance to jumpstart some offense for the Gamecocks. On the other side, it'll be number 23, Colin Hewitt, pitching for App State. Was getting ready to throw that first pitch. He'll step off for a moment. Now readies. Turner bends as if that was going to hit him, but instead it'll just go as ball number 1. Definitely inside, but does not make contact with the Gamecock shortstop. This one too low, and it bounces away from the catcher as well. So quick 2 balls from the App State right-hander Colin Hewitt. Hewitt, the third pitcher from Boone we've seen today. App State threw 2 arms in the first game, as that one's called a strike. Definitely towards Turner's knees on the inner half, but a strike nevertheless. App State, their starter in the first game lasted 1, and then reliever went the other 5. This time around, we get Colin Hewitt. Turner will foul off the 2-1, so count even now at 2-2. This one will bounce away from the catcher. But once again, no one on base. Just fills up the count 3-2 now to the leadoff hitter, Turner. Payoff pitch coming from Hewitt. You're ready around the ribs. Throws the payoff pitch. Just a hair too low, and Turner will throw the bat, trot down to first base. A leadoff walk for the Gamecocks, and he'll bring up the center fielder, Adam Parker. Earlier in the day, first game of this doubleheader, Parker reached on a walk and an error, but no hits for the Gamecock center fielder. A throw over to first. Turner dives back quickly. Now the first pitch to Parker. He'll watch that one go by. Inner third of the plate for sure, but strike number 1. Turner about 2 steps off of first base. This one, other side of the plate. Outer third. Also low, but strike number 2. App State second baseman creeping in near the bag just in case of a steal attempt or a double play. And a steal attempt we will see. Turner slides in safely at second base on that pitch. Throw was on line, but just late. And I mean just late. Turner got in ahead of that tag. So now Parker at the plate. Tyron Turner standing at second base. No outs for the Gamecocks. And the umpire will ring up Parker on that outside pitch, outer third of the plate, block of the plate on the outside, and I'm being generous. Rings up Adam Parker for out number 1. So 1 out as Turner adjusts at second base, and Jack Thiel, the hammer, shifting from third base to first base in this one. He'll now come up, try to knock in Turner, put the Gamecocks ahead early. Does get under this one a little bit. First base side in foul territory. Gerlach, the first baseman, will put it away. Turner will retreat back to second, so no chance to double him up. First pitch foul ball, a pop-up in foul territory, put away by the Mountaineers. Now it's 2 outs. Runner at second base for the Gamecocks, but no outs, no runs in. Brings up the new third baseman, Matthew Manning, as the DH in this one. As the DH in the first game. Manning was 0 for 2, also hit by pitch. And just as I say it, he gets hit by another. So Manning will trot down to first base. Hit by pitch, and he'll bring up the second baseman, Jake Hockett. Pitch to Hockett fouled off. Over at third base, wrestled in by a Gamecock player acting as the third base coach. The Gamecock second baseman, runners on first and second. Hockett watches that one go by. Looked like it was over the plate, but maybe a little bit high to Hockett, as it is called ball number 1. This time Hockett gets a piece of it. Left fielder Rogers, looks like it was lost on him for a second, but he does get a beat on it. He'll put it away for out number 3. So the Gamecocks get 2 base runners on, just like the Mountaineers. And just like the Mountaineers, they fail to bring anybody across. We remain tied 0-0 heading to the second. Back at it for the top of the second inning. Leading things off will be the Appalachian State second baseman, Grayson Tappy. In the first game of this doubleheader, Tappy 1 for 3 with a double. Came around to score on that double as well. Now facing the Gamecock pitcher, Ryan Forbes, out for his second inning of work. Forbes' first pitch to Tappy, in there for a strike 1. Outer part of the plate, as Forbes steps off and adjusts before throwing the 0-1 pitch. Gamecocks about normal depth. Once again in there. Black home jerseys. App State still in the gold with the black striping across the front. Forbes' 0-1 pitch bounces in the dirt and away from the catcher, Lucas. Ball number 1. 1-1 count now. Time Turner stretching at shortstop, but in his normal positioning, as well as the entire outfield playing about 2/3 of the way back in the grass. Standard positioning. Forbes is 1-1. That one a strike. Does bounce off of Lucas's glove, but a strike called. One-two pitch from Ryan Forbes. Swung on and fouled off by Grayson Tappy. So we'll do it again. 1-2 pitch from Ryan Forbes. Left-hander readies at the letters near the belt. This time it's too low. Lucas Bout had his glove in the dirt to corral that one. So it'll be a 2-2 pitch. Called ball 3. Gamecocks really wanted that one to fall in for them. Instead, it'll be a full count. Fouled off by Toppy. Really exciting the App State dugout here. So now another look at the 3-2 from Ryan Forbes. That one will just fall in. They'll ring up Grayson Toppy for out number 1. Kind of a winding breaking ball that just does drop into the strike zone. A beautiful pitch from Ryan Forbes. It'll bring up the shortstop, William Gore. Gore starting at shortstop, batting 9th in the first game, 0 for 3. A ground ball and 2 pop-ups. Another winding breaking ball from Forbes, but that one he does not get the call for ball number 1. So the 1-0, swung on by Gore. It'll bounce foul. Just left of the third baseman, Matthew Manning, who went to grab it. One count to the Mountaineer shortstop. Gore swings on it again. A chopper over the head of Forbes. Turner corrals it. He'll throw on to Thiel at first. Once again, Thiel stretches, makes the play for out number 2. Now it's left-handed hitting catcher Matt Gord. Gord earlier in the day. 2 for 3. Pair of singles and a flyout. From the left side against left-handed left-handed throwing Forbes. Forbes will bury one in the dirt for ball number 1. Gore, the left-handed hitting catcher, got both of those hits against Gamecock left-handed starter Josh Kay. Kay went the entire 7. Asgard swings on this one. Looks like Turner has it behind second base. He'll range back a few steps, put it away for out number 3, and we stay scoreless heading to the bottom of the second. Returning here for the bottom of the second inning. Still on the mound for Appalachian State is starting pitcher Colin Hewitt. Now facing the Gamecock designated hitter Garrett Bokel. Bokel, the catcher in the first game, takes a ball there in the dirt. In the first game as the catcher, Bokel was 1 for 3. Struck out twice, also hit a double. He fouls this one left of the Gamecock dugout along the third base line. He'll walk back to the plate. Hewitt will reset on the mound. Hewitt sets and readies. Bokel swings at this one, just gets a piece of it, foul it away. 2 strikes on him now. Pitch to Bokel. This one in the dirt. Should even things up here. And Bokel swings through this one, but it's in the dirt. Throw down to first base in time to first baseman Gerlach. That'll put Bokel away for out number 1. We'll bring up John Parnell, right fielder. Earlier today, Parnell batting in the 9-hole. 0 for 3. The flyout, a strikeout. Make that 0 for 2 as his last flyout was a sacrifice to bring in the Gamecocks' 5th run. He'll take the first pitch here from Hewitt for ball number 1 outside. (1-0) in the dirt. Count moves to 2-0 to the Gamecock right fielder John Parnell. Parnell gets a piece of it. Ranging foul. Looks like the third baseman, Alexander, almost was able to snare that one in the air, but instead it'll just bounce away foul. 2-1 count now for Parnell. Hewitt's 2-1. Parnell swings at it again, fouls it, third base side again, but this time bouncing well short of the base. So 2-2. Foul tip into the catcher's mitt. It'll be another strikeout for Colin Hewitt. His second of the inning already, his third of the day. Bring up the catcher Charlie Lucas. Lucas, his first action of the day. As I mentioned, Bokel caught in that first game. First pitch to Lucas, well inside. It'll basically roll into the fence behind home plate. For all intents and purposes, Hewitt basically just bowled that pitch through home plate into the fencing. So the 1-0, that one in there for a strike. Falls in nicely to even things up at 1-1. Working quickly. Hewitt's 1-1 also bounces away. So now he's behind in the count here, 2-1. To the 8-hole hitter, Charlie Lucas. 2-1 pitch in the dirt as well. That one corralled by the catcher, Gord, but just barely backhanding it in the dirt. Pitch away from taking a walk here. Lucas squares up. He will make contact with this one. He'll foul it behind the App State dugout on the first base side. Count will fill up here at 3-2. 3 pitches in the dirt. couple of foul balls to make things a crisp, clean 3-2. As they retrieve all the foul balls in the inning, everything gets back to the umpire. Everybody will return to their spots for this payoff pitch from Hewitt. Too low. Charlie Lucas will take the jog down to first base. We'll see if they get a runner here for the catcher. And indeed they will, by the looks of it. That's Chris Payne. Payne started at left field in the first game. Has a distinctive bright red batting helmet. Kind of sets him apart from the majority of the team. Coming up to the plate, William Hitt, playing left field today for the Gamecocks, did not see action in the first game, so his first at-bat of the day. He'll take pitch number 1 in the dirt. So, a 1-0 count for William Hitt as he fouls this one off. Things leave it up at 1-1. 1-1 count for William Hitt. Chris Payne on for Charlie Lucas, the runner at first base, and 2 outs here for the Gamecocks as this game remained scoreless in the bottom of the second. That one looked to be a little bit inside, but called the second strike by the home plate umpire. So Hitt is in a 1-2 hole here. Against Colin Hewitt, who already has 3 strikeouts for the day. That one too far outside. Kind of even here at 2-2. Checking behind him, Hewitt throws the 2-2. Once again finds himself in a full count as that one too low as well. Second straight full count, payoff pitch from Hewitt. Hitt gets a piece of it. Foul first base side. First baseman Gerlach going for it. But it'll be behind fence, out of play. And things will stay 3-2. That 3-2 too high. Hitt will take a jog down to first base as well. So back-to-back walks after back-to-back swinging strikeouts to begin this inning. And Hewitt finds himself having to face Tyron Turner at the top of the order once again. Second inning in a row. And if you're wondering what Turner did to begin this game, he also took a walk. So to go along with those 3 strikeouts, Hewitt has walked 3 and hit another. As Turner swings through that one, took a hearty cut at it with 2 runners on. He'll step back in the box in the 0-1 hole. Hewitt looks at the runner at second base. And he does throw there. He had turned back towards home, spins back around to throw towards second base. Ball pops out of the second baseman's glove. Doesn't matter. Throw wasn't going to be in time. Everybody stays put. Getting back to things at the plate, where he has Tyron Turner 0-1. Turner will think about it for a second, but watch it go by, and it's high near shoulder level for ball number 1. Ball 1, following up strike 1. Things are even here. That one about the same place for ball 2. Runners on first and second, 2 outs, 2-1 count. Turner gets a piece of this one. Chopper to third base. Third baseman will just step on the bag for the force of Payne. And despite the 2 base runners, Gamecocks will not scratch any runs across and things remain scoreless headed to the third. Leading things off here in the third, it'll be the only starter who's yet to come to the plate, the Mountaineer right fielder Nate Garrison facing Ryan Forbes. Ball will bounce away from Lucas, first pitch. Obviously that'll be ball number 1. Pitch, that one in there for a strike. Even things up by Forbes. Swinging through that 1-1 pitch is Garrison. What was a bad-looking ball number 1. Suddenly it's a 1-2 count here for Ryan Forbes. Garrison will ground that one, charging as Turner. Turner will throw on to Thiel, but they'll call him safe. The speedy Garrison outran that one. Slow roller, but fielded well by Turner. It'll be an infield hit for Garrison, and it'll go back to the top of the order in the form of the third baseman, Matt Alexander, who struck out back in the first. Forbes facing Alexander for the second time. Fielded by Hockett. He drops it, so he doesn't get the out at second or the out at first. So a pair of infield hits here has App State in business early in the third. At first, it was sharply hit to Hockett. It looked like he had a shot to get 2. Maybe a little bit of indecision causes him to bobble it and lose both outs altogether. So now a couple of balls that maybe should have been outs, and Forbes finds himself no outs, runners on first and second. Bunting is the 2-hole hitter, Dalton Oler. Pulls it back on that first pitch. Now Forbes stares him down, trying to prevent any further damage here in the third. Oler pulls back the bunt again, too far inside. Let's see if Oler pulls it again. He does. He bunts. This time he squares up. Thiel charges. Hockett covering at first. And they'll put that one away for the first out of the inning. Hockett and Hitt switched places. So that was Hitt covering first base. Little story here. When I was down near the dugout between the games, they were, putting together the lineup for this game, and I heard Hockett's, they said, you're at second base again, and he's like, well, if I make an error, can we switch? So it seems like he and Hitt have switched. Meanwhile, this ball singled into left field. 1 run scores, and another run scores. So now 2 quick runs for App State, singled in by John Rogers. So still just the 1 out. Rogers stands at first. Now it's Aaron Gerlach stepping to the plate. Forbes' throw. This one popped up. Pursued in left field. Looks like it'll just bounce foul. Everybody will return to their stations. Gerlach to home plate. Rogers to first base. After his 2 RBI single to give App State the 2-0 lead here in the third. Forbes' 0-1 pitch swung through by Gerlach for strike number 2. Forbes trying to get this crucial second out. His 0-2 just too far outside, backhanded by Lucas. So now the 1-2 with Rogers in first base. Gerlach absolutely swings through it, gets no piece, and he'll go down for out number 2. And he'll bring up Jamie Sheik, who grounded out to the second baseman back in the first. So Sheik, the left-handed hitting designated hitter, against the left-handed Forbes. Forbes' first pitch too low for ball 1. And Rogers is off for second base. The throw to second hits Forbes. He recovers quite quickly as the ball just nestles itself in his glove, potentially. But Lucas had almost no chance of getting Rogers on that steal attempt at second base. I don't know if he meant to throw it to Forbes, but still had the velocity as if he was going to throw it to second, or if his throw was just too low. But either way, does not make it past the mound. So now with Rogers on second, Sheik at the plate, 2 runs already in for App State, but 2 outs. Forbes sets and throws. That one in there for a strike. 1-1 now. Forbes fires in strike 2, grabs the outer third of the plate. He may just be a strike away from getting out of this inning, but the damage is done with 2 App State runs on the RBI single by John Rogers, as Sheik fouls off this one to stay alive. So now another ball from Forbes. That one too far outside. potentially setting up a payoff pitch here against Sheik. And Sheik swings through this one, but gets just a little piece of it. Stay alive once again, fouling off pitches to try to stay alive here in the the top of the third against the Gamecock lefty, Ryan Forbes. This one will bounce in the dirt. And bounced in the dirt. So Sheik got a free pass down to first base. But meanwhile, Rogers attempted to steal third, and he does get thrown out by Charlie Lucas. So a walk and a quick caught stealing ends this third inning, but damage is done with 2 App State runs to put them ahead 2-0 through 2.5. Now in that 2-0 deficit, their first deficit of the day, Gamecocks up to bat here in the bottom of the third. Leading things off, it'll be the 2-hole hitter, Adam Parker. Parker struck out back in the first. This one in the dirt. So ball 1 there. Parker had fouled off the first one. Attempted to bunt himself on, but it had rolled foul. So a 1-1 pitch here. That one's snared by the third baseman. Quick throw over to first will get Parker out. It was sharply hit to third base. But a great throw by the third baseman, Alexander, will retire Parker for the first out here in the third. And with that, we'll see the power hitting first baseman Jack Thiel step to the plate. Thiel swings on the first pitch. He'll foul it, third base side. Wind still blowing in straight away from center into the press box. There's a little hole in the window of the press box, we'll say. So the wind is blowing straight in here as well and straight through the batter's box as well, I'm sure. As Thiel takes ball 1 outside, even things up here, 1-1. This one in there. Outer third of the plate. It'll be strike number 2 to Jack Thiel. Hammer's 0 for 1 today, popped up back in the first. This one bounces to the plate and spiked over the catcher's head. It'll just go down as ball number 2, but an aggressive looking ball at that. Thiel stays at the plate. Gets a great piece of this one. It'll drop in front of the center fielder, Oler, for the Gamecocks' first hit of the game. And just in time for Matthew Manning, the third baseman, to step to the plate. First pitch to Manning, in there for strike number 1. Hewitt now facing his 13th batter of the game. Has yet to allow a run as Manning fouls this one straight up and back. Yet to allow a run. Does have 3 Ks, 3 walks, a hit by pitch, and now 1 hit against his line. So 0-1 count here to Manning. We watch another one go by. This one too low. It'll be called ball number 1. The 1-1 pitch from Hewitt. That one bounces in the dirt. Catcher corrals it quickly before Thiel could do anything with it. So he'll stay at first. It'll be a 2-1 count to Manning. Hewitt peers at the runner at first. Let's see if he makes the throw. Looks like instead he'll go home. Thiel will take off. Throws good to second base. Offline. Thiel will slide in under the tag. He'll grab a stolen base. Meanwhile, Manning will go down. So the Gamecocks advance a runner, but it'll cost them an out here in the form of Matthew Manning, who goes down on strikes. And I'll bring up the second baseman, Jake Hockett, who was also 0 for 1 today. First pitch, Hockett. Too low. It'll be called ball number 1. Take a little walk around before stepping back into the box. So the 1-0. Hockett swings on. It'll go under the third baseman's glove. It'll roll into left field. Thiel is obviously coming home. Hockett will jog to second base. He'll stop there. So a run does score for the Gamecocks on the play. Their first of the game in the form of Jack Thiel, an RBI double from Jake Hockett. Now stepping to the plate, the designated hitter, Garrett Bokel, who struck out to begin the second. The runner at second, Jake Hockett. Hewitt peers at Hockett at second base. He'll throw home. That one's too high inside to Garrett Bokel. Again looking at second base. See if he makes that throw. He'll go home again. This one does grab the outside lower corner of the strike zone. Almost the left-handed batter's box, but maybe just grabbed a piece of the strike zone. Even things up. Hockett hopping around there at first. Meanwhile, Bokel swings through a pitch that was a couple feet outside the strike zone, it looked like. Two strikes against him. Bokel looking at the plate. Hewitt steps off. Quickly, the catcher runs out there. They'll talk for a minute. Hockett and the second baseman chopping it up. Bokel's just walking around near home plate. No conferencing for the Gamecock offense. Everybody will return to their stations, and Hewitt will step back on. 1-2 count. Garrett Bokel. Bokel gets a piece of this one. Fielded by the third baseman, Alexander. He makes a throw to first. But the throw is offline. When Gerlach goes to apply the tag, it is too late. So another infield hit for this time Garrett Bokel. Jake Hockey will advance to third on the play. And he'll bring up the right fielder John Parnell, who also struck out one frame ago. So with runners at the corners, Parnell steps in. He pops this one high up. Looks like the center fielder will take charge. He's running on. That ball will drop. It'll roll away. Left fielder Rogers took charge. He makes a hard throw, and he's still down out there in left field. But as that one dropped in, both runs scored for the Gamecocks. So they now lead this one 3-2. But obviously the concern is about what's happening out there in the outfield. As some people come over to check on him, he put all of his effort into a throw and went tumbling onto the ground. So let's hope everyone is okay out there as the Gamecocks and Mountaineers are locked into this one in the third inning. And as everyone quietly goes running off, we're back to where we started. Charlie Lucas, the catcher, steps in. Runner on second is now John Parnell, as both of those runs came in on the play. Lucas walked his first time up. This is only a bat of the day. He'll foul off the first pitch from Hewitt. The 0-1 swung through by Lucas. Count will move to 0-2. And swung on by Lucas. Chopped to third base. Alexander makes a throw. Almost a little bit offline, but this time Gerlach corrals it in time. Steps on first base for the third out. But the Gamecocks score 3 runs and sprint ahead of the Mountaineers 3-2 as we head to the fourth. back for the fourth, leading things off for App State. That's the second baseman, Grayson Tappy, the right-handed hitting infielder. Forbes' first pitch to Tappy here in the fourth. Called a ball. The 1-0 also just a little bit too low for ball number 2. Forbes finally fires in a strike there. That one just right over the heart of the plate. Got to imagine Tappy just wasn't giving himself the green light there. So now the 2-1 from Forbes. That one will grab a piece of the zone as well to even things up at 2-2. This one chopped in front of the mound. Forbes will grab it in time to just tag Tappy before he gets down to first base. No need for a throw. He'll take it himself. So with one down, it'll be the shortstop, William Gore, 0 for 1 with a ground out today. First pitch to Gore. Too high. Ball number 1. Second pitch in there in the dirt. It'll be ball number 2. So Forbes has worked himself into back-to-back 2-0 counts to start off these at-bats in the fourth. And once again, on that 2-0 pitch, he'll fire in a strike. This time a touch inside, but a strike nevertheless. And Gore will just pop this one up. It'll get into left field, but controlled and tossed back in there. So that'll be out number 2. Now we'll see the catcher, Robert Gord, step to the plate. First pitch to start off Gord. This one will bounce foul in left field. Looked for a second like maybe it was going to get over the head of the third baseman and get in there for a hit, but drifts foul for the left-handed hitting Gord, who popped up to the shortstop Tyron Turner back in the second, his only at-bat of this game. And he swings through this one, so he's in an 0-2 hole with 2 outs already in the inning. And Gord will swing through the 0-2, go down swinging for a quick fourth inning for Ryan Forbes. Gamecocks retain their lead, 3-2, headed to the bottom of the fourth. Leading things off here in the bottom of the fourth, left fielder William Hitt, like I mentioned earlier, Hitt really has moved to second base, but started the game in left field. He takes one ball inside the 1-0 pitch, that one in the dirt, outside, so 2-0 count for Hitt, his second at-bat of the game. He walked back in the second. Hitt'll foul this one off, left of third base. I want to bounce in the dirt, get away from the catcher, Gord. Hewitt trying to find his control here in the fourth, try to avoid walking William Hitt again. Saw the payoff pitch from Hewitt. Yet another one. Hitt really gets under this one. Left fielder charging in. Ball will bounce in front of him, center fielder. We'll throw it in. Hitt is on with a little bloop single. And get it back around to the top of the order. Once again with Tyron Turner. Turner 1 for 2 in this one. 0 for 1, a walk and a fielder's choice. Laser into left field, sliding catch. Sliding catch by Rogers. Tries to throw back to first. Throw gets away from Gerlach a little bit, but not enough for Hitt to go ahead and tag up. So now 1 out in the inning. The center fielder Adam Parker back up at the plate. Oh for 2 today. 0 for 2 in this game. This one, right field, second baseman, right fielder converging, and it drops between them. Hitt quickly slides into second base to eliminate the possibility of a force out. Parker gets on with another bloop single. Like the saying goes, a bloop and a blast. Well, the Gamecocks have 2 bloops out of their 3 hitters, and now they bring up the power hitting Jack Thiel. He'll take ball 1 outside. Throwback gets away from the pitcher. The second baseman grabs it quickly, though. Eliminate the possibility of a really weird error on the catcher. All right, so Thiel muscling up at the plate. A 1-0 count. And it hits him. Gets hit by the pitch on the elbow. He'll trot down to first base. Base is juiced with 1 out. Third baseman Matthew Manning, 0 for 1 today. Hit by pitch in the first. Struck out in the third. He comes up now in the fourth with just 1 out. And ducks all around the pond. Meanwhile, catcher will come out to meet with the pitcher, Hewitt. A little pseudo coach will come out of the dugout as well to kind of talk things over as everybody in the infield starts to creep in. Everybody will go back to their spots, so Hewitt remains in for the time being. But with 3 runs already in the third, now bases loaded here in the fourth. Start to wonder if a change could be in order for App State before long. First pitch to Manning, high around his head for ball number 1. The 1-0 overcorrection in the dirt. Now Manning staring at a 2-0 count. Runners all around. Gotta wonder if he has the green light here. Another power hitter in the cleanup spot. And he swings through it, so he did. Swings through another low pitch, but it's a 2-1 count. Infield in at the corners. More or less double play depth up the middle. Manning checks his swing. Did not go, says the umpire down at second base. So now it's a 3-1 count. Bases loaded. Gamecocks lead this one 3-2, bottom four. Manning will take that one outer third, called a strike, and now the payoff pitch laced under the glove of the third baseman. One run will score. Runner from second zooming in. Another will score. Manning will take second. Thiel over a third. Runs the score in the form of Parker and hit. Now the Gamecocks up 5-2. Now once again, everybody will converge at the mound, and Hewitt already walking off. He'll hand the ball off. Looks like the new pitcher's coming out right behind. Don't have a number quite yet. Get that to you when I get one. We'll give him a second for his warm-up tosses, and when we come back, I'll try to get you that number and the remainder of this bottom four. Gamecocks already with 2 runs in, only 1 out. And we're back with Jake Huckett stepping into the box for the Gamecocks. Already with 2 runs in the inning. And a 3-run advantage over Appalachian State. Final line on Colin Hewitt. Well, not quite closed out with 2 runners on. As he steps out, he went 3 1/3 with 4 strikeouts. And 5 runs. As Hockett takes the first pitch for ball number 1, high and inside. The new pitcher, number 33, Samuel Goff. Goff, the left-hander, a 5th-year senior. As this pitch gets away, sliding in safely is Jack Thiel for the Gamecocks. 6th run of the game. So that ball just got away from the catcher scored. Gamecocks add another to the tally. Now the infield returns to normal depth. Goff fires one in there. Again, it bounces in front of the catcher. So after a very strong first two, almost 3 innings, things have turned sour for the App State Arms. Goff does get one in the strike zone there. Hockett will step out to take a few practice swings. This time Hockett makes good contact, but he'll foul it left side. So now seemingly the whole arsenal almost emptied out on this one at bat. Goff steps back onto the rubber, and Hockett will get back into the batter's box. The pitch just fouled off, just gets a little piece of it, and it rolls behind the plate. Goff sets and readies again. This time Hockett times it up, laces it under the glove of the shortstop Gore. Manning scores on a little RBI single from Jake Hockett. Now we'll get a pinch hitter in the form of number 5, Sean Gowan, the senior. Pinch hitting for the designated hitter, Garrett Bokel. Gowan will take the first pitch. Too high for ball number 1. Definitely a rough situation to walk into here if you're Goff, but you need to get those final 2 outs and turn things over to the 5th. Instead, another one in the dirt. Advancing without a throw is Hockett. He'll get to second base. And a 2-0 count here to Gowan. So the 2-0. Gowan swinging on it. Controlled by the third baseman. Alexander will throw over to first to retire the pinch hitter, Sean Gowan. In the meantime, Jake Hockett will go ahead and grab third base. So a little 5-3 ground out with the runner advancing. Make it a sacrifice. Next up at the dish is the right fielder, John Parnell. You'll watch strike 1 go by. Kind of a whirling breaking ball. Dropping in there for strike 1. Oh, 1 to Parnell, swung through. Now Goff is just 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. 4 runs in for the Gamecocks as they lead this one 7-2. It'll be grounded to the third baseman. Hockett scores, and Parnell beats out the throw from the third baseman. So he'll be on safely with an infield single as well. Scorer Jake Hockett. So that's now 5 runs in the inning for the Gamecocks. 8 runs total after the 3 last inning, and it'll be the catcher Charlie Lucas with Parnell down at first. Lucas will take ball 1 outside. Lucas, the only Gamecock that hasn't come up to bat yet in the inning so far. So after this, we'll be repeating things with William Hitt once again. Gamecocks batting around here in the 4th. Lucas will watch another one high and outside. To the 2-0. Pockets off. No throw. And Hockett grabs a third on the next pitch. Lucas, meanwhile, will walk. So runners at the corners, 2 outs. William Hitt up for his second at-bat of the inning. Umpires called time here before we can get this at-bat underway. Ball bounces away. Parnell will score. Nobody went to get the ball at first. So you know what? Lucas goes ahead and goes from first to third on it. Looks like energy is running out here on this Mountaineer squad as a 9th run scores for the Gamecocks in the form of John Parnell. Lucas standing at third. Hit back in the box. This one grounded to the shortstop. Does control it. Goes ahead and makes the throw over to retire. Hit. Gamecocks bring up 10 batters in the inning. Score 6 of them. We head to the 5th inning. The Gamecocks leading 9-2. 9-2. Half of the 5th about to get underway. Still on the hill for the Gamecocks. Left-hander number 87, Ryan Forbes. Gamecocks brought in 6 in the bottom of the 4th, now leading 9-2. Forbes tosses in there ball number 1. He just kind of lobs it over the top. It's the right fielder Nate Garrison up at the plate for his second at-bat. He takes ball 2. up high. Garrison 1 for 1 today. Singled back in the third. There has not been that kind of day for App State. Scratching across 2 early. Then watching the Gamecocks put up 9 unanswered as Garrison takes strike 1 down the middle there. And Garrison will foul this one back into the netting behind home plate. Count evens up at 2-2. 2-2 from Forbes. And Lucas made the throw, prepared to make the throw down to third as if it were a strikeout. The umpire went ahead and told everybody to stay here, filled up the count 3-2. Lucas apologizes, but I can't tell you where that missed unless there's a hole right in the center of the zone. And just to make him pay for it, Garrison singles that one right past the shortstop into center field. Puts himself on here to begin the 5th for App State. Back to the top of the order now for the Mountaineers. The third baseman, Matt Alexander, 0 for 2 today. Reached on an error back in the third and struck out to begin this one. First pitch to Alexander. Allen called a strike. With Garrison down at first. Alexander in the box here. Field holding on the runner at first. Manning playing even with the bag at third as Forbes fires in. Ball number 1 in the dirt. Turner Hockett playing just close enough to the bag in case of a double play. Outfield, normal positioning. As it's another one in the dirt from Forbes. Now a 2-1 count. Advantage to the leadoff hitter, Matt Alexander, playing a strong third base today for App State as well. Having logged thus far all 11 innings. Was Forbes buries in another ball. Now it's 3-1 to the speedy third baseman. A leader on this team. This time makes contact with it. Gets under the glove of the third baseman Manning. And into left field. Quick throw back in. Holds the runners to first and second. But it's a little bit of a rally here in the 5th. With Garrison on second. Matt Alexander now taking first. It'll be the hottest hitter on the team, the center fielder, Dalton Oler. Oler 1 for 1 today with a sac bunt back in the third, a single in the first. That one a strike. Bounces off of Lucas's glove, but he blocks it out front before any runners can advance. Forbes with the 0-1 count. This pitch. That one falls into the zone for strike number 2. It would be a big out here if he can retire Oler. Try to work around these two runners on first and second base. In the forms of Nate Garrison and Matt Alexander. Forbes is 0-2. Fouled off. He resets on the rubber. Stares down the batter. Hasn't really made such a look at either runner. That one too tall for Oler. Count now even at 2-2, but Forbes still with the advantage here. A half swing by Oler. Looks like maybe they'll call it a... Yeah, they call Oler out. They said he struck out swinging there. Was running down to first base, not because he made contact, but because it was a swing through a pitch in the dirt. But with runners at first and second, he is automatically out for the first out of the inning. And I'll bring up John Rogers, who knocked in a couple runs during his last at bat back in the third. Rogers fouls his first pitch off. Important to remember, not only did Rogers knock in a couple runs, but he was the end of the third inning when he was thrown out trying to steal third after Sheik's walk. So after that foul ball, he steps back into the box. Pitch from Forbes in there for strike number 2. Back on the bump. Forbes staring down Rogers here. Second baseman retreats. That ball just a wee bit outside. And by that I mean Lucas had to stand up and grab the ball almost as if it was a pitch out. One-two count. Forbes sets and throws. And he gets Rogers down swinging as well. So back-to-back strikeouts after back-to-back singles. With 2 on and 2 out. It'll be the first baseman, Aaron Gerlach. Gerlach steps in here. 0 for 2 today. Popped out back in the first. And a strikeout in the third. This time, pops it up. Feel with it in foul territory. He'll put it away for out number 3. 1 pitch, 1 out. And those 2 runners do not come to pass here for App State. Gamecock still leading 9-2 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Bottom 5 here in Columbia. Leading things off for the Gamecocks, it's the shortstop, Tyron Turner. Still on the hill for App State is Samuel Goff. Goff will fire in the first pitch to Turner. A little high and outside. It'll be called ball 1 by the home plate umpire. 1-0 pitch, much the same. This time too low. 2-0 popped eye on the infield. Second baseman Tappy calling for it, and he'll put it away for out number 1. With Turner going down, now 0 for 3. I'll bring up Adam Parker, who's 1 for 3. Parker, the center fielder, singled and came around to score back in the 4th, part of that big 4th inning. That one in there for a strike on Parker. Gamecock center fielder for both of these games here in the doubleheader today. As Goff misses with that one. Hopping back on the hill here. Goff's 2-1. That one called a strike. Count evens up 2-2. Two-two pitch. Too far outside. Count fills up here for Adam Parker. See if he's just looking to get on base or if he's looking to slash something into the outfield. 3-2 from Goff. Too low. Parker will throw the bat aside. Track down to first base. Parker down at first. That'll bring up Jack Thiel, hit by a pitch back in the 4th. Did come around to score. That hit by pitch, he didn't have a chance to hammer one out of here. Let's see. A little move over to first, just awkward and slow, and Parker almost dared him to do it, not because Parker was going to run, but because it just looked so manual. Goff's first pitch to Thiel is too far outside for ball number 1. It's another 1-0 from Goff. This time he does throw to first. Parker does run under it. Running to second, he's thrown out. Goff made the throw to the first baseman. Gerlach then tossed it over to second base, and they got Parker as he was sliding into second base. So he goes down, caught stealing second for the second out of the inning. But Thiel is still at the plate. Parker was that time, he was daring Goff to throw over because he was going to run. And he did. So now Thiel, he takes that ball inside. Goff working quickly here, just trying to get out of this one. Maybe trying to put a nice bow on this day and go home. That one low and in the dirt. Thiel trot down to first base. So 2 outs, but Gamecocks have another runner on base in form of Jack Thiel, and Matthew Manning coming up to the plate. He doubled back in the 4th. Brought in a handful of runs. Hit by pitch earlier in the day and a strikeout, so he's 1 for 2. Watches this one go by, grabs the inner part of the plate for strike 1. 0-1 too high, and it pops out of Gord's glove. That'll be called for the first ball of the at-bat. Things are even here at 1-1. Bottom 5. Gamecocks leading 9-2. As Manning will take a strike there. So 1-2 count to Matthew Manning. Gamecocks lead this one 9-2, following a big 3rd and an even bigger 4th. Maybe looking for some insurance as Thiel takes off and the ball gets away from Gord anyway. So stolen bag for Thiel as it's a 2-2 count to Matthew Manning. Manning with a hard foul ball soared over the fence behind home plate. Don't know about the physics of that one, how he could hit it so strongly backwards. Nevertheless, that one hits him, and he'll head down to first base. Manning, a magnet for hit by pitches today. His third one between the two games. The Gamecocks have runners at first and second with 2 outs. And the second baseman, Jake Hockett, who singled home a few runs as well as a double back in the third. So a handful of RBI, and he's 2 for 3 today. First pitch, Hockett, he's swinging. Pops it up high on the infield. Third baseman Alexander taking charge. And that one drops in. But foul. So that one bounces foul. Don't know how it got away from all of the App State defenders that were pursuing it, but Hockett will return to the plate. Manning to first base and Thiel to second base. Hockett swinging again. This one just going to roll foul on the third base line. A couple of very different foul balls here. One from Manning that soared over my head. One from Hockett that went high on the infield and bounced away. Now another one from Hockett that just rolls away. Nevertheless, Goff's pitch. Hockett swinging again. This time drops into the shortstop. Strong throw by the shortstop. Gore will get Hockett. And that'll conclude matters here in the fifth as the Gamecocks retain their 9-2 lead. Into the sixth inning now. Leadoff hitter for App State here, Jamie Sheik. For the Gamecocks, it'll be a new pitcher. As he's thrown ball on the first pitch. Fires in a strike right there. Number looks like possibly 85. Aaron Kinner. Look to update that. I see something different. That one in the dirt there for ball number 2. This one popped up. Third baseman Manning pursuing it, but it'll get out of play. Count will even up here at 2-2. That is number 85. So an even 2-2 to Sheik as Kinner steps off, waits for everybody to get back in position after that foul ball. The 2-2 pitch. Struck high into right field. Right fielder Parnell puts that one away for out number 1. And that'll bring up the second baseman Grayson Tappy, 0 for 2 today. Last time up, he hit a weak grounder to the starting pitcher Forbes. Forbes just tagged him out for the easy one, an assisted play. This time up, Kenner fires in strike number 1. Kenner a little bit of a sidewinder here for the Gamecocks. Grabs strike number 2 on the outer half as well. So now 1 out with Tappy in an 0-2 hole here. Kenner gets Tappy to go around for strike number 3. Another K for the Gamecocks. And that'll bring up the shortstop, William Gore. Gore, 0 for 2. 6-3 ground out back in the second. And a fly out to the left fielder. His last time up in the 4th. This time against Kinner. First pitch, too tall. That'll go in as ball number 1. The 1-0. Infield giving a big gap up the middle. Asgore swings through that one. Count even at 1-1. Big gap up the middle, like I mentioned. Corner infielders playing behind the bag and a little bit inside. So all the defenders are squeezed into those gaps. As this one, a little ways behind second base. Fielded by Turner. Throw over to first will get him. And they go down 1-2-3 here in the 6th. We may have just 2 more frames to play as the Gamecocks lead 9-2. As we step into the bottom of the 6th inning, Gamecocks leading 9-2. Bringing up now designated hitter Sean Gowan. One plate appearance thus far in the game after pinch hitting for Garrett Bokel. A sacrifice grounder back in the 4th. This time laces it right to the third baseman, Alexander. Alexander makes a strong throw across the diamond to retire Gowan for the second time. Worth mentioning, new pitcher on the hill is Holt Bisecker, number 12. Now it's John Mcconaughey, pinch hitting for the Gamecocks. He swings first pitch. He'll foul it first base side. Out of play. And Mcconaughey swings through those last two pitchers. He'll go down swinging for a strikeout. So 2 quick outs for Bisecker as he comes in relief as the third App State pitcher in this game. Now it's the catcher Charlie Lucas. Takes a ball up high near his head. He'll take ball there once again. A couple voices in the crowd expressing their displeasure, but in a 9-2 game, just looking to wrap things up on both sides here. This one in the dirt. Lucas will go ahead and take a trot down to first base with the walk. That'll bring up William Hitt. Hitt, 1 for 2 today. A walk, a single, and a ground out back in the 4th. A single and the ground out in the 4th. He started off that rally as well as finished off the inning. Courtesy runner down at first base for Lucas is Chris Payne, much as we saw earlier in the game when Lucas reached on a walk back in the 2nd. Hitt fouls this one back into the fence behind home plate. That one too high. 1-1 count here from Bisecker to Hitt. That one called a strike as well, so count moves to 1-2. In the dirt, but blocked by the catcher Gord before Payne could advance anywhere. So 2-2 count. Runner at first is Payne. 2 outs here for the Gamecocks in the bottom of the 6th. Hitt gets hit by that pitch. He'll take a trot down to first base. Payne will advance to second. And it'll be back to the top of the order with Tyron Turner. 0 for 3 today with a walk. Meanwhile, a quick conference at the mound. Doesn't look to be any movement here. Leadoff hitter, the speedy shortstop Turner at the plate. His first at bat against Bisecker. Down in the dirt, but corralled by Gord. It'll go down as ball number 1, but the block was important to prevent those runners from advancing past first and second. The 1-0. Too far inside. Bisecker sets and readies. 2-0 in there for strike 1. Two one misses. Count moves to 3-1. Too high in front of Tyron Turner's face, and he'll take a walk, his second of the day. So now the bases are loaded with Payne, Hitt, and Turner. Adam Parker up at the plate for his 5th plate appearance of the day. He hits one a mile high. Spikes in front of the shortstop, Gore, and he'll throw on to first for the 3rd out of the inning. And the 7th inning now underway. Still on the mound for the Gamecocks, number 85, Aaron Kinner. After a successful 6th, he faces the catcher, Robert Gord, up at the plate. Gord 0 for 3 today. A couple of groundouts and a flyout. After ball 1, Kinner fires in strike 1, inner third of the plate. Count is even at 1-1. As Gord swings through that one as well. So now a quick 1-2 on the App State catcher here in the top of the 7th. That one poked and snagged by Tyron Turner up the middle to put it away for out number 1. A little sharp blooper is the best way I could describe it. Turner makes a good play to grab that one in the air for out number 1. With now the pinch hitter, Nick Kilduff, up at the plate. We saw him as the DH back in the first game. First time up against Kenner. He'll foul this one straight back. In the first game, Kovalev 0 for 2, a strikeout, a ground out, and he walked in his final plate appearance back in the 6th. He swings through this one as well, so he's in a quick 0-2 hole here. Not his team's last chance, but their second to last chance. Quite possibly. And he fouls another one back over the netting behind home plate. So he's staying alive here in an 0-2 count. While he does that, a little update as far as the big baseball team at Founders Park. They lead number 4 Vanderbilt 6-5 as Kenner fires in ball number 1, so it's a 1-2 count. They lead Vanderbilt 6-5 through 5.5, middle 6th. They're up 6-5 against number 4 Vanderbilt as Kilduff fouls another one straight back. The Gamecocks won yesterday after dropping the opener on Thursday night, so they have a chance to steal a series here against a top 5 national team and one of the leaders in the SEC. Getting back to what we're looking at right here today, Kenner fires in another ball, this one too far outside, and count is even at 2-2, even with a spree of foul balls by Kilduff. And he pokes this one into left field. It's going to drop in front of the left fielder. Hockett will just toss that one back in, but a single for the pinch hitter, Kilduff. That'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Matt Alexander, the third baseman. 1 for 3 today in this one. First pitch to Alexander, swung through for strike number 1. Even stumbled across the plate for good measure. And Alexander swings through the 0-1. Count moves to 0-2. Gamecock infielders in position in case of a double play. Both the shortstop and the second baseman. Clear path to the bag. Instead, Alexander lays off of that one. Called a ball up near the collar. Alexander gets just a piece of that one to foul it off and stay alive. Count remains 1-2. Now in too low. A little bit of a winder. Count even at 2-2. So the 2-2. Ooh, a close pitch. Called the ball. Filling up the count at 3-2. I think Charlie Lucas wanted to throw that one around the horn for another strikeout, but instead, umpire tells everybody to stay put. Sam Alexander reaching across the plate. Taps that one into right field. Controlled by right fielder Mcconaughey just on for Parnell. And with Alexander retired, that'll bring up the center fielder, Dalton Oler. Oler, 1 for 2 today. A sac bunt back in the third. A single and a strikeout. He takes first pitch too far inside. Leonard Oler swung through. Make that 1-1. The 1-1 called a ball, as the Gamecocks just trying to put an end to this one, trying to cement their sweep of the doubleheader. Instead, Kenner will hit Oler. He'll advance down to first, which will push Kilduff to second base, with John Rogers, the left fielder, up to bat. Rogers 2 for 3 today. Thrown out, stealing back in the third. See what he can do here with 2 runners on, but 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Kenner fires in strike 1. This one beyond the reach of Turner. It'll get into left field for a single. A strong throw from Hockett will keep the runner to third base. So the bases are now loaded with Aaron Gerlach 0 for 3 today. He steps up to the plate. Bases juiced here in the top of the 7th. Two outs. Kenner fires that one in there. Called ball 1, maybe high or inside. The 1-0, too far outside. Make that 2-0. Oh, and not quite what Kenner was looking for. Resets here. So, Gerlach gets some contact on it, but it'll go foul. Left of third base. Our stream now up past 2 hours and 12 minutes. This game outlasting the first game by a decent margin. First game lasted about, I would say about an hour 40. So now Kenner. No runners in, but the bases are juiced for App State. As Gerlach slaps this one shortstop, it ricochets off of Turner. 1 run is in. Throw to the plate. 2nd run is in. Ball skipped there. Maybe if it had gone on a line, they could have grabbed the 2nd runner and ended this one. But instead, 2 runs score for App State as the ball ricochets off of Tyron Turner into short left field. Meanwhile, Gerlach reaches at first. John Rogers at second, and the runners that scored are Kilduff and Dalton Oler. Brings up Jamie Sheik, scheduled to come to the plate here. This one popped into left field, caught by Hockett, and that should conclude things here as the Gamecocks win this one 9-4. Came into the 7th up 9-2. App State scratches across 2, but it's not enough, and they sweep this doubleheader. Gamecocks winning both games here. But winning both games here at Polo Road Park. They win this one 9-4 after concluding the last one with a strong 5-2 victory. 7 innings for Josh Kate in the first game as the starter, and 5 strong innings in the second game from Ryan Forbes, as well as 2 from Aaron Kinner in relief. Each Gamecock pitcher allowed 2 runs to score, but combined they outscored App State 14-6. And they head into tomorrow with already 2 games up on the Mountaineers. Thank you for watching South Carolina Gamecock Club Baseball on SGTV with us today. I'm Will Kronsberg. I really appreciate you joining me for this one.